All right. Okay, this is a request to remove 4 public shade trees at 250 Everett Street in Allston as follows. 2 elm trees measuring 6 inches in diameter and 2 pagoda trees measuring 3 inches in diameter. We can, I guess we'll start by introducing ourselves. I'm Carrie Marsh Dixon. I'm the Executive Secretary of the Parks Commission. Max?
I'm Max Ford Diamond. I'm the tree warden and city arborist for the city of Boston.
Todd?
And I'm Todd Meestor. I'm the Director of Urban Forestry for the City of Boston Parks Department.
Calliope?
I'm Calliope Marski. I'm the assistant at Urban Forestry.
All right, and we should be joined by Jill Zick, who is the interim Chief Landscape Architect for the Boston Parks Department. You'll see when she comes on, but we'll make a note of that for the record. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and make your presentation, please.
Sure. Hi, good morning. I'm Tim Alexander with Mill Creek Residential. We're the proponent of the project at 250 Everett Street. And joining me today is Allston Desbinet from Copley Wolf. And Allston, I know, has a couple of, or 1 or 2 slides that she can share to outline the request.
Okay. Could you please, Allison, give us your last name? It's not showing up.
Yeah, it's Allison Desbinet at Copley Wolf.
And spell that, please.
Last name Desbonnet.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Looks like I can rename myself. Sorry about that. I am Tim. There we go. Okay, I can share my screen and just walk through. I'm going to share, send a request. Perfect. So as mentioned, we have 4 trees on Everett Street that we are requesting to remove. We are showing all 5 here, just with the understanding that the number 3, the hedge maple, has been confirmed that we is not a part of this tree hearing. So just as mentioned, there are 2 pagoda trees, a 3-inch, a 3.5-inch, and then 2 elm trees at 6 inches. And essentially, we've observed over a couple of years now of being on site, just the condition that these are in. From our observation over the course of the year, they do seem stressed. Some trunk damage is happening, though they are still growing. We think that for removal and the proposal of that, we could definitely create a better, more consistent streetscape along this edge. A couple reasons for that is our understanding is the overhead wires will not be coming down per discussions with Eversource. And currently, as you can see in some of these pictures, the elm trees specifically are already growing in conflict with those. So there's just some kind of concerns about the future of these trees and kind of how they'll be managed. We would propose to put back trees that are on the approved list for the underwire kind of smaller canopy trees. I think we're looking at Emelanchiers and things similar to that, more ornamental in form. We also see just from experience with any construction projects and being very close in proximity to the existing trees that these will undergo further amounts of stress. So there is a concern with that as well. And then just for what we would propose, we think that this would be just create a better, more rhythmic experience along Everett Street. We would put back trees in the exact same locations where we're moving. We think that would, really align with what we're proposing for the other trees on site. Tim, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
Nope, I think that covers it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Max, do you have anything to share?
Yep, so I inspected the trees last month. The trees are all alive and healthy except for the one hedge maple that I identified as needing removal and meeting our requirements for removal, thus not needing a tree hearing. The other trees are alive and healthy, thus needing a tree hearing. And the diameters have been updated of the trees as to current conditions. There was no opposition from the public that I've received as of today to the removal of these trees. So yeah, that is all I have.
Great, thank you. Todd, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, just to get a better understanding of the plan you have on the screen here. So you're proposing to ultimately remove 5 street trees, one that would be removed regardless. How many trees are you looking to plant? Is that what this plan is?
Yeah, so this is showing, the trees, proposed trees, if we are to have the existing trees remain. The total of that is 12 trees currently shown proposed, but we would propose an additional 5 trees to make up for what we're removing.
Yeah, I could just to shed a little bit more light on that. So every tree shown there on the, the adjacent to the right of way is proposed by the project. And I think that probably lends further to Allison's point about wanting a consistent rhythm in the street trees as we go down the frontage of the project. So 17 total of those. Obviously, the 4/5 would be removed and replaced in that same location.
And then again, we mentioned that a lot of these are underwire trees and the wires are not going to be removed. Do the utility wires extend the full length of the property or the full length of the project, or is it just some portion of it?
They extend the full length, which you can see in kind of all these pictures here. Yeah.
Well, the one on the right to me looks like the wires may turn and go across the street. That's why I asked for that elm. But again, it's just the angle of the picture.
I think it is, yeah.
I know Jill may have some other questions, so I will let Jill ask some questions. Thank you.
Jill?
So I just wanted to ask, you had mentioned that if these trees were approved for removal, that you'd probably replace, let's just say the 4 trees or maybe the 5 trees with Amelanchier. Is that the plan for the entire frontage even for the newly proposed street trees?
We are doing a mix of it's Amelanchier, I think red buds as well.
And I'm just curious to understand, since you're showing the plan kind of outside of the right of way, it looks like you're planting larger trees like closer to the building. Is that a fair assessment of the plan?
Larger in caliber, yes. I think we're still looking obviously at, having these be more upright in consideration where they do get close to the building. But more of a larger canopy tree, yes.
Yeah, I understand there's the conflict with the overhead wire, but I think I'd love to see something that provides, either on the parcel or along the street edge, something that provides a little bit more canopy cover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Just for the trees, kind of along this edge here, and then as well as they would have a canopy that would fill out over time. I think for the street trees, we would just want to be mindful of what we're putting. If there's something that stays, maybe it's a little less shrubby than an Amelanchier, if you will, but could still fill out a bit more, but not too high. I think we could definitely look at that as options. Open to suggestions, of course.
This is a question for Max, Todd, Jill. We don't typically allow back of sidewalk plantings, but is this a situation we might consider it given the heavy wires and the low height?
With that, I assume that I think that would have to go to PIC, Jill.
I think if it went back of sidewalk, it would effectively put it out of the right of way.
Okay.
But if I could ask, if there's no other comments on that particular point, just for the developers. So as you're planning on planting additional trees in this space, I'm assuming you're going to replace the sidewalk as part of the project. Is there any thought given to improving the subsurface conditions for the tree, maybe structural soil or anything else that might be beneficial for any trees planted in this realm?
I can speak to that. We are proposing to do structural soil for these trees. So we do have that included, not shown on this plan, but we are proposing as well. If we are going to be replacing these trees, then we would increase our limits of structural soil to accommodate these as well.
And the sidewalk material will stay concrete
Yes.
and the tree pit. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I have no further comments.
Okay, I
In
don't
the-
see any public.
Oh, can I just ask one more question?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Is the furnishing zone planned to also be concrete in between tree pits? Or is there some other kind of, maybe perhaps more permeable pavement?
Yeah, if I can zoom in here. So the, I guess, blank space, if you will, is the planted area. And then these are permeable paver strips where we do not have planting. So all the darker hatch that you see here is a permeable pavement in addition to what we're showing adjacent to the sidewalk.
Great, thank you, helpful.
All right, there are no further questions here, and I don't see anyone here from the public. Max, could you run through what the next steps are, please?
Yep. So from today, we have 2 weeks to issue our letter of determination based on the results of this hearing. So you'll receive a letter from Carrie regarding the determination after today. If the removal of the trees are approved after the hearing, the proponent team will then need to send a check for the value of the trees to the Parks Department. Once we receive said check, we will issue a notice to proceed for the removal of the trees. That letter will also come from Carrie. And then, of course, after construction, as you've noted, there is room within the public right-of-way to plant new trees. So the proponent can install these new trees where the prior trees were removed and recoup some or all of the replacement value of the trees in question. The BPRD would then reimburse the proponent team based on how many inches of DBH are replaced. And the reimbursement would be based or would be dependent on the trees being alive and healthy for 2 years after the date they are planted. So do you guys have any other questions?
Nope. No, I think we had some back and forth via email just about timing of that, Max. So appreciate the clarity that you provided, and no other questions from our side.
All right, Max, do you want to, we can not end the hearing, but we can let the proponents go and leave the hearing open till 10:30. I'm sorry, till 11 o'clock in case there are any other public members. Okay.
That works.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're welcome to stay on, but we're probably going to go blank screen unless any public members show up in the allotted time frame of this hearing. So, thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we can end this hearing at this point. So thank you very much, and we'll be in touch as Max described.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Thank you.